Hey everybody, it's Irritable Life again, and today is day 13 of my 50 tips to positively affect your health. And I've I've done two just recorded with my voice only, and I'm gonna mix it up a little bit. Sometimes it's just easier and quicker if I do things with just the voice because I can edit really fast, and this is a little different. So it takes a little longer, and I'm trying to get stuff done. Anyway, on to day 13. All right, so this is a good one, and this is something that I know a lot of people like myself have issues with, and it is forgiveness. It's tempting to hold on to grudges and resentments as if they were precious, when in fact they are toxic. Let them go, they only hurt you. And that is, wow, that is just so true. And I hold grudges like nobody's business. Um, you know, for so many different things, so many situations against so many people, you can hold grudges. I'm not saying that I'm holding it against the entire world, but there's so many different reasons that you could hold a grudge. Um, and it's hard to let go unless you're able to work through it. You work through it with a therapist, a psychiatrist, a psychologist, a friend, a counselor, a family member, yourself. Through meditation, you may be able to work through some things, able to let some things go. I noticed a little bit that when I started the meditation, I was able to talk to someone that was really irking me, and I was able to let some things go. It was kind of like, it's okay. It's okay, I'm good. I can just let the little annoyances go. I can let your personality that irks me go. Um, so that was a good thing. I wish that I knew about this before, because I worked in a place where I couldn't let it go. I could not let that resentment go. Because I got really sick because of it, and this was chronic hives sick, as I mentioned in my other video, because the chronic hives, it was as if, like I said in the other video, the allergist told me that my body broke out in hives like this because my immune system was so shot, which is true. I'm not saying it's not, but it's kind of like my mind, my entire body was just rejecting that place to the point where I just erupted in hives and I just couldn't take it anymore. It was just like rejecting everything about that place because it was a toxic place, as toxic as it was to hold on to what I held on to, because I held on to it for years. I held on to it for so long. And they say that time heals all wounds. And they're right, but you kind of wish that it would heal wounds a lot quicker than years. I was extremely bitter. I couldn't let it go. I think about it, I'm still a little miffed. I'm not saying I'm completely bitter or really, I don't know, like I won't use my punching bag when I think about these people and this place. Let's just put it that way. So I'm just like, they just suck and move on, but it was tough because every time I had the hives, which was 24/7 for about a year, I would either cry from the pain, because the chronic hives, as I mentioned, I lost the ability to sweat. So I had to be in a cool environment, and it was summer. Summer had started, so I had to have the fan on 24 hours a day. I was in bed. That's all I did, was in bed. That's it. That was my life. I was unemployed, and I was in bed because I couldn't move. I couldn't do anything. I was covered in hives. The only way they started to go away was when I started taking Zyrtec, which was an allergy pill back in the day, and thankfully it didn't have any side effects, so I kept taking them. But I also took steroids briefly, not for long and not consecutively. But basically, my entire body, everything, not one piece of skin was free or clean of any hives. It was all over. I would wake up crying. I would feel like my entire body was burning. It was like a burning cactus was being rubbed all over me. When I got the angioedema, which was the swelling part of it, my eyelids would shut closed almost. I looked like a monster, like somebody punched me in the face. So I would immediately think, why am I here? Why do I have this? It's because of them. So that bitterness, that anger would come through. And if I got angry, once the hives had subsided over a year, I would start getting hives again. So back then, I should have probably addressed my emotions, because my emotions were so strong. They were really killing me. They were really killing me. Instead of letting go, I held on. And this is right. You're only hurting yourself, because they don't know that I despise them. They didn't know that I hated them with all my might. They didn't know that I desired for them to get the runs or to get hives themselves. They didn't know that, and they didn't care. They just went on with their lives. And here I was thinking about this all the time, even when I got different job. When I went to 10 Winds, and I loved that job so much, and I loved the people, I still would get some hives a little bit because I would get nervous. Oh my God, I got to do great. I got to do perfect. And that wasn't that kind of place, but I still had that in me. I didn't work through those emotions in order to get through in a positive way in this job. Obviously that dissipated, once I got to know what I needed to do at the job. I knew my job well, how to do it and what to do. But initially I was super nervous because I really liked the job. I really needed the job. I wanted to be there. I wanted to be there, and I wanted to do a really good job. And I felt like such a waste when I got the job at Winds, because I didn't think I was good enough. And that came from this place. And I didn't know how to value myself. All I did, I was a lackey. What did I do? I just ran, got tapes, got props and flowers and food or whatever it was for the particular taping that they were doing for whatever guest was on. So I was a runner. I was a lackey. Even the interns were treated much better than I was. And I did complain about it when I left, but they didn't believe me, and then I caved. I was like, okay. I didn't stand up for myself the way I should have. But what's done is done. And like I said, who did that hurt? That hurt me. Me for not being able to let go. Me for not seeking help from a counselor, from a psychiatrist, from somebody to help me work through those toxic emotions, how I felt towards those people. Because in not working through those emotions, I wasn't getting any better. I wasn't helping myself in the healing process, which is very, very damaging to your mind, body, and soul. So I'm not saying that I'm perfect now. I'm not. My IBS is wow. But I recognize the problem. I'm trying to take steps to, solve this problem, to heal myself. I've tried everything that I could possibly think of. I always mention that I've the diets and the exercise and the oils, all these other things, minus the medications. Of course, I don't really take medications because I just don't believe in them from the side effects that I had experienced during taking things for the hives and some other things that I had taken. But I've tried everything but controlling my emotions. And I'm thinking about this, and this is kind of like not an epiphany, but you come to realize certain things once you talk about them, like I'm doing right now. If I would have addressed these things back then, who knows where I'd be now? I definitely wouldn't be where I am now, health-wise. Maybe job-wise I would be, but mentally and physically, I doubt that I would be in this position. I would be a happier person. I'd be able to do a lot of different things without Oh, I can't, I gotta eat, but I gotta try new things, but I gotta stay home. This fear. And I'm not making fun of myself. I'm being serious because I have to stay home if I have to try new things, like I mentioned in my other video, right? So, I mean, all I can say and all I can do now is accept myself for who I am now and thank myself for finally addressing the problem. And by finally, I mean taking my health in my own hands by trying to be more dedicated with the oils, trying to really tackle my emotions, doing the transcendental meditation, finally taking that step, which was the ultimate, most important step that I have ever taken, because that makes a major difference. It's lifetime. It stays with you for life. It's something super important that I needed. And I finally was able to meditate again today, and I felt the difference. Did I strangle the guy who coughed in my face and was sick? He had the flu, he had a cold. I don't know what the hell this guy had, but he had something. And this piece of flu shot freaking coughed in my face. So I felt like Everybody Loves Raymond, that episode where the guy sneezes on him. Oh, did I strangle him? No. I gave him a dirty look, and I think that was probably enough because he was like, oh, I'm sorry, and he moved to the other side. I'm like, yeah, you better move to the other side. But the look was enough. No words were needed, and no strangulation was needed. I did not need to hit him with my purse because what would that accomplish? Yeah, I would feel good in the moment. That would have been a big release, I'm sure. But it just doesn't, that stuff doesn't really accomplish anything. I'm not saying that, I'm totally perfect and I can handle every situation with calm and ease. No. Like I said, and I will keep saying it, it's baby steps. When you are used to reacting instead of thinking and taking a step back, when you're used to just like that, turning on the Hulk or the waterworks, because you're so emotional, it takes a really long time. Maybe for some it doesn't, but it takes a while to get used to stop. Think about yourself first. What is this going to accomplish for you? This entire body, it's not going to accomplish anything. If anything, it's going to make you worse. So, I let go of that. Presently has been harder to let go of some things. And although I was able to make peace with part of the problem still existed in the present moment of what we're talking about in these past few years. And even though I was able to make peace with a part of it, it was still a constant in my life. And once that part of the problem, wasn't even part of my life anymore, things were a little bit easier. Do I hold resentment? Yeah, I still do. Because some people don't realize how they act. They don't realize the damage they may have done in the past. Some people don't realize the way they speak to you. I mean, I guess to wrap it up, I think I just went off on a tangent here, is if you're holding on to something, and I still have a lot of work to do in that department, if you're holding on to resentment and you're holding on to it as if it's precious, is that resentment really precious to you? It's taking space that can be used for something more positive, something more beautiful, something else, a moment that you want to create in the future, or something in the present, something in the now, something with someone, family, friends, a loved one, as far as like boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, that sort of thing. It's taking space. You can use that space to, I don't know, create videos with your dog or something, like Aaron's animals, I don't know. So, get really creative and do something, put that energy that you're putting into that resentment and those grudges into something else. And you will feel a weight lifted off your shoulders, because when I think about my past gig, I'm okay. You know, what about a game? You know, like Super Mario Brothers or any of those other video games. You know, you need to clear the way in order to make it to the next level, right? You have to shoot this, jump over that, you know, get your coins, you know, so you can get to that next level. And maybe it's not the best, you know, comparison, but think about those bricks that you have to break, you know, as your blockages, your resentment. You have to get rid of that. You got to knock those bricks out in order for you to get to the next level of your life. That's basically what it is. So that's it. I wish I had more on this, but I think if I keep talking, I'm just going to end up talking for hours. So not everybody has the time for that. Not even me. So on that note, just let it go. Go on to the next page in your life. Go on to the next chapter. And you'll see how free you're going to feel. It's nice. It's liberating. And I speak from that other experience. I'm still working on this one. But I know if I can do that one, I'm sure I could do this one. It's just going to take a little time and patience on my part. But if I can do it, and I'm going to work through it, so can you. See you tomorrow, guys, for day 14.